okay? And that love, that fear is a call for love. So in that spirit world where my grandfather is, fear did not exist. So all of a sudden I'm sitting in front of him. He's looking very young. Now, one of the natural laws on the other side of life, since there's no such thing as time, there's no such thing as age. How many people have relatives come and visit them and they seem to look kind of good? Okay, yeah. Because there's no such thing as age on the other side of life. Isn't that good news? Yeah. That's perfect news. Okay, I'll go for that one. Okay, so he's sitting in front of me and he's patting a dog. And again, remember the message is in the energy. So I knew in a holy instant that he was going to take care of me. And we all have relatives who take care of us from the other side of life. How many people, well, I may be talking to the choir here, but how many people basically have had the impression of a loved one who has passed on coming to visit you? It's normal, all right? Now, spiritualists are the only ones that admit it, okay? It's normal, okay? And so I knew that he was going to take care of me. But then the Tibetan monk brought me back to my body. I woke up in bed. I was smoking cigarettes at the time. Let me tell you, I had quite a few cigarettes. Okay? And then I laid back down again, and he took me out of my body again. And he took me into another spirit world. Now, in that spirit world, I was kind of shocked in a way. You know, I was under the thought that as soon as you pass on, you go to heaven, you figure it out, you know everything. Boy, are some of you in for a surprise. Okay.
Like that.
Yes. And so we're in, so all of a sudden I'm in the spirit world with my Tibetan monk, and I just see people walking around, and all of a sudden I noticed I began to feel the way they were feeling and the way they were thinking. And guess what? They're just like here. Most of them don't have a clue what life is all about. They're still trying to figure it out.
Yep.
Okay? So, if you want to know what it's been like when you pass on, close your eyes, open your eyes. This is it. Okay? Now, the purpose of a master teacher showing up in your life, you're not going to get into heaven by telling a master teacher who they are. They already know who they are. The original sin in life is that you have forgotten who you are. Okay? So the purpose of a master teacher is to wake up the master who lives inside of you. Because remember, the word sin in the Aramaic language, which is the language of Jesus spoke, means to make a mistake. So the big mistake we have all made is that you have forgotten who you are. And that you're a holy divine spirit made in the image and likeness of your Creator. Okay? And so when you begin to remember who you are, then you start to tap into what is known as your higher self. I always love to ask this question. Many years ago, when the Beatles went to India, I learned how to meditate. How many people learned how to meditate around that time? Oh, I don't. Okay, hi, thank you. Okay. It was called transcendental meditation. Okay, remember that? Okay. And when I was meditating, all of a sudden I started to open up psychic and spiritual skills, right? Because I did that in a past lifetime. And as soon as I learned how to meditate in this lifetime, I started to open up. Now let me ask you a question. Does anybody here know of any spiritual master teacher who doesn't meditate? And if you do, I want to know what their name is.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay, it doesn't exist. Does anybody here know of anybody who's academically very intelligent who never learned how to read and write? Yeah. So we're talking literacy. There is intuitive literacy and academic literacy. Okay? Do you realize that one time when most of the people in the world did not know how to read and write, everybody else thought they were special. Right? They were special. Just like there are people who think that, well, maybe you are special, okay? Maybe you're different, okay? Maybe there are people in the world who think that what we do is special. Well, that's nice, but it's being intuitively intelligent, okay? So, being in a place like Lilydale, you're around all those people who use this intuitive intelligence. Actually, Einstein said, the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational brain is a faithful servant. We have created a society where we honor the servant and forgotten the gift. So your genius is in your intuition. And that's why they call it the gifts of the Spirit. So the gifts of the Spirit were given to you before you came into the world. But no man can reveal to you aught but that which already lies asleep in the dawning of your knowledge. The teacher who walks in the shadow amongst his followers gives not of his wisdom, but rather of his faith and his lovingness. If he is indeed wise, he bid you not enter the house of his wisdom, but rather leads you to the threshold of your own mind. The astronomer may tell you of his understanding of space, but he cannot give you his understanding. The musician may sing to you of the rhythms which are in all space, but cannot give you the ear to arrest the rhythm nor the voice to echo it. And he who has searched and literate in the science of numbers can tell you of weight and measure and MC equals square, but cannot conduct you thither. And the prophets have left their imprints on the sands of time, and we could read about them in between the pages of the holy books. But one man's vision leads not his wings to another. So a teacher, a real teacher, brings you to the threshold of your own mind. Okay? And that's why the great master teacher Jesus said, these things I can do, you can do also. And even the least among you do all that I do, and even more. And even more. Do you realize that all the holy books in the world were written by people who use this part of their brain? Okay, I'll say that again. All the holy books in the world and religion started by people who use this part of their brain. Einstein got it. I hope we get it. Okay? So, do you know how important you are? You may not know a little bit. You may not know too much about the Mormon religion. My mother was in England many, many years ago, and they told her to come to Canada. My spiritualist, who else would do that, okay? But anyway, they told her to come to Canada, and my mother belonged to every religion. We always tease her. She wanted to make sure she got into heaven, so she got all okay? But the Mormon religion started not too far away from Lilydale, okay? Do you know why the Mormon religion is so much interested in their genealogy? Because they believe that they're carrying on the work of their ancestors. Okay? And there's something in the East that's called healing the family tree. Okay? So let's say you have a grandfather who was a spiritualist in heaven. And you come into the world and your grandfather says, oh, there's someone that I can carry on and continue my work through that person. And they will do that. Okay? And that's why in spiritualism we have our ancestors around us. Okay? So, it's called healing the family tree. But not only that, this is very, very important. Let's say you have an addiction, or you're born into a family with addiction. I'm going to speak slang, and you get your act together, and you clean up your addiction. Guess what? You affect all other members of your family tree. It's called frequency. That's how important you are. That's why they're very much interested in you. They have a good investment in you. Okay? And, oh, by the way, again, you don't know how important you are. There's a friend of mine who passed on many years ago, and he said, you know, John, I finally figured it all out. It's all about me. Okay, now let me explain that. Let me explain that. Do you not know that all the world's a stage and every man and woman are merry players? They have their exits and their entrances, and a man and a woman will play different parts. Okay? Whether you know it or not, we're all here just for you. Oh, you think it was your idea to come here? No, you came here accidentally on purpose. So you could hear this nonsense from Lilydale, New York. Okay? But it's all about you. So this is your movie, and everybody here, we're in your movie. So thank you for being in my movie, honey. Thank you for being in my... Shake the person's hand next to you and thank them for being in your movie. Thanks. All right. The check will be in the mail in the morning. But all the world's a stage, and we're playing different parts. So how you doing? You like your part?
Great.
Yeah. Okay. something called the Akashic Records. If we want to get fancy about it, we could say the Akashic Records are the records of your soul's plan before you came into the world. Well, that's the one you signed before you knew what you were doing. Okay? But it is important. It is important. Now, I don't want to keep on talking about all these. I could just go on and on and on. But it's all under natural law. Okay? It's all under natural law. And so when Einstein and spiritualists believe in natural law, don't we read in our principles that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws? You're supposed to take that literally, by the way. Okay? So when Master Jesus said, whosoever therefore shall break these commandments and teach other men, so they shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and keep them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. We read in between the lines. Whoever therefore shall keep the natural laws shall experience great things in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall break the natural laws shall experience less in the kingdom of heaven. And again, where is the kingdom of heaven? It's here. It's here right now. So, my friends, go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant. They also have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are dictatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always in the world there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. But remember this, that he or she that is in you is greater than the person that is in the world. And no matter what lies behind you or in front of you, are all tiny matters compared to what lies inside of you. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble, for it is the pathway to eternity. Take kindly the counsel of years, gracefully surrendering things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in some misfortunes. But do not distress yourself with imaginings. Many fears, false evidence appearing real, comes from fatigue and loneliness. Do you not know that you are a child of the universe? No less than the trees and the stars, you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding the way that it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whoever you conceive him or her or that infinite intelligence to be. And whatever your trials and tribulations, dreams and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace with your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be joyous, strive to be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Blessings from Lilydale, New York. Thank you.
Wow. So just wanted to say thank you to Reverend John White. What a beautiful, inspirational, and wise lecture. Very nice. Okay, our musical interlude. During our musical interlude, our ushers will receive your offering, and we thank you in advance for your generosity. Our musical interlude today will be performed by Eva Byard.
The song